Here we have a used 2021 Mercedes-Benz AMG GLS 63. This one comes in black, and then we have black exclusive nappa leather interior. And the powertrain consists of that 4-liter bi-turbo V8 engine, mated with a 9-speed automatic transmission. That gives us 603 horsepower, 627 pound-feet of torque. And then this one has just a little over 32,000 miles. But as we come around to the front end here, we have our multi-beam LED headlamps along with our LED daytime running lights. Love that look there. I just reviewed a 19 a few weeks ago, and this just has a more aggressive stance to it in my opinion. And certainly the power output's better. But down to these wheels here, we get these 21-inch forged aluminum wheels. Love that look as well. And we get passive keyless entry on all 4 doors. Then coming around the door panel here, we do get a Burmester sound system, 3-stage heated cooled seats. Then we have a power seat back, seat bottom headrest. Then we also have power thigh support as well. And then 4-way power lumbar support. And those controls for the lumbar are right down there. Everything else is right in here. And then you can just set your memory seating, pretty easy to do. Just hit the M and then hold the number you want to set it to, you're good to go. Power door lock controls are in there. And then we do have power mirrors that also power fold. And then we have blind spot monitors and those. Rear window locks here. And then we have one-touch automatic up and down windows on all 4 doors. And we do have a power boot that we can control from up here. And then we have an electronic parking brake. You just push that in to engage it and then pull up to disengage. Then your headlamp controls are here, auto. And then you can set it to parking, corner, all that. And then that's on. Rear fog lights. Gauge cluster brightness can be adjusted. And then we do have a power tilt telescope steering wheel. And there's a close-up of that diamond stitching there. Love that design. And just a very adjustable seat as well. But I had that seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3", longer legs. So let's go ahead and check out the space back here. So one of my favorite things about this vehicle is that we do have power seat functions for the back, including the headrest. So I can tilt and lean back any way I want to. And then the ambient lighting looks fantastic back here. Then we have the back seat pockets on both sides. And then we also have quad zone automatic climate controls, so we can adjust for the back as well. And then even change the fan direction. So if you just want it for the face there and then the feet on this side or both, whatever, you can do that, and then toggle the auto mode, and it's just super adjustable. So I love that. And then we do have a USB-C down there, and then storage as well, 2 USB-Cs, excuse me. And then even the middle seat folds down, storage pocket there, and then cup holders are on the side here. And then that's with the sunshade up. I will say I tend to get hot back here with the sunshade here because it's just kind of, it's thin and it's supposed to look nice while keeping you kind of cool, but the sun is still coming in a little bit. But there are reading lights there. And let's go ahead and make our way towards the back. We can hang something up there if we want to, but now to get to the back, all I have to do is pull this up here, and then it'll power slide up, and then it'll fold up. And then that way, you can just make your way to this back seat here. So let's see if we can get this going. And I like that we have the controls back here as well to actually get that from back in the 3rd row. But USB-C ports there, cup holder there. And this has the headrest down, but that's kind of your space back there. As you can see, that's the seat there, and my knees are kind of in it. So this is definitely meant more for the kids. But then we can just push that back just by holding that button there. And it'll go right back to where it was. It's a lengthy process, but Now coming to the back end, we do get our LED tail lamps. And I want to give a huge shout out to Auto Collection of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this GLS 63. I'll leave a link below too in the description. But love that exhaust. Let's look underneath. Let's go ahead and pop the lift gate. So not a lot of space back here just with the third row up, but again, if you don't need it, it's just easy to fold down the third row. And then you have all that additional cargo space. And then you also have the second row folded down there as well. Just do that by hitting this all button, and you can control the second row here, and then the third row right in here, and then you can adjust the height of the back using that button there. So again, pretty adjustable. And then fuses and whatnot are there. And then a quick look underneath, if I can lift this up, there's a spare tire there. And that's a 20-inch. So not a full-size spare, but it'll get you where you need to go. And then we have that cargo shade as well. Now for the fuel filler, just pop that, there's the cap. And of course, 91 is the minimum octane rating for this. And then for this front passenger seat, 4-way power lumbar, pretty much same adjustability and memory seat function here. And then the heated cool buttons for the passenger side over here as well. And then this one tells the owner's manual and such. Has a lot of stuff in there actually. But here is the window sticker, so you can pause anywhere you all need to get a closer look. And then this sticker right at $126,885. Now I find it interesting that this is 49% made in the US or Canada. It's more American than the American brands are these days, but. And then side pocket down there. But just a great looking SUV since they had that refresh. And I believe it's gonna get another slight refresh for 24, but I have to wait for that one to come out, see if I can get my hands on one. But there's that handcrafted 4-liter V8 bi-turbo. Can't wait to test that out. Well, let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. So we do have that upgraded performance steering wheel here. Feels fantastic. Very easy to control the vehicle with this. But to the radio here, we do get AM, FM, and then we also have navigation, Bluetooth audio, wired Apple CarPlay, wired Android Auto compatibility. And then we do have the seat kinetics here we can adjust. And if you saw that window sticker, this is missing a lot of standard options for whatever reason. Not necessarily something you need to have, but a lot of the stuff is missing as opposed to one that's fully loaded out. So just scrolling through all of this. And I will say the setting screen is pretty similar to the 19 I drove. So you can adjust ambient lighting and all that through here. And then you can change your language, several options for that. Units if you want to go from kilometers to miles, and then everything else down and through there. If you ever need it, that's where it is. And then the navigation screens here, pretty easy to use. You can use voice recognition, or you can use recent destinations, favorites, all that. Now there's the backup camera there. Pretty good picture. Guidelines follow you as you turn the steering wheel. And there's the front camera there. Several other views as well. But down here we do get our climate control, so I can adjust temperature here, and it'll show me in the bottom corners what the temperature is. So that's for the passenger side, and then pretty easy to sync and then unsync there. But fan speed can be adjusted here. You can toggle it all the way down and turn it off. And this actually pulls up the menu, and you can change fan direction, turn the auto mode, turn the whole system off there. And then you can also go to the second row, third row, and you can adjust those if you don't want them synced up. Hazards are here. Everything else pretty self-explanatory. Vents, defrosters. And then here we have two USB-C charge ports, and this one is what you can use to run off that CarPlay Android Auto. And then we have a 12 volt there, storage, cup holders, and then we can actually heat or cool these cup holders here. And then we can stow all of that away. Over here, we can go through our drive modes through the dynamic. So we have several of those: Sport, Comfort, Individual, Slippery, Trail, Sand, and then Sport Plus. And then over here, volume controls. We can toggle volume down, up, and then we can mute by clicking it. And then it's kind of like a mouse pad. If you want to use it that way, you can do it, but I just like using the touchscreen. And then over here, we can pull up the parking camera there, and then we can use self-park as well. And then we also have our vehicle settings, favorites. We can set all this up, and then navigation, shortcuts, radio, media shortcut, telephone shortcut. And then if you want to use your manual mode, you can turn that on and off there, and you can use the paddle shifters, and then traction control, ride height, suspension can be adjusted manually too. But center console cubby space, USB-C port, additional storage if you want to put your phone there. And then that's actually if your key battery is low, you put your key in there. And then this is with the sunshade back. We're gonna pull that, and then once that's all the way back, we can go ahead and slide the roof. But there's a view of the back seat, everything down. And then here, have all of our dome lights, and then sunglasses holder. And then back to the steering wheel, blinkers, windshield wiper controls, the intermittent, then low, high, and then rear wiper controls there. And then when the low beams are on, we can toggle those high beams on and off there, and then we can flash there. And then our shifters here, so just hit the brake, pull down for drive, pull up for reverse, tap down for neutral, and then press P for park on the side there. And then front wiper fluid, just push that in, I forgot that. But this little scroll button here you can use to go through the settings, and then home page, back page. This is all for the gauge cluster, and then the same thing is on the right side, but this is all for the actual radio itself, as you can see there. But to the left side, the bottom, cruise control on, off, and then we can set, resume, cancel, and then voice recognition up here, favorites down, and then volume control here, and then again, we can click that for mute, and then Bluetooth buttons are there. And then we have push button start, auto stop toggle. And finally, here's the key fob. And now for the fun part, let's go ahead and take this AMG GLS 63 out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this GLS 63, very good sound acoustics in here. I can just hear everything being kind of deadened to the interior. And Mercedes-Benz is known for being pretty good at that. And I thought I was talking to it, but I'm not. But a pretty good ride so far, even in the sport mode, sport plus mode, excuse me. But having the mild hybrid system is good. It just makes it easier to drive, I think, just in terms of coming out of corners and having that extra help when your battery's charged up. And I like that Mercedes, BMW is pretty much trying to put that in as many vehicles as possible, because it helps efficiency, but it also in turn helps performance. And I think on a GLS 63, you're more worried about having that additional help with the performance as opposed to how much it helps your fuel economy. But I like the sound here, just in the Sport Plus, even with light throttle, I like that it's very, very tame while sounding very menacing. So I can't wait to put my foot into it, getting on the interstate here in a second. But very, very relaxing behind the steering wheel here. Again, even with this being a sportier SUV, it's still a Mercedes. But with this being an AMG, we're gonna go ahead and put our foot in it, and we're gonna see what it does. Goodness gracious. Fantastic power here. And as you can see, when we are, the EQ meter here actually shows you when you're charging the battery and then when it's actually being used to give you power. And it's just fun to watch that max out. But yeah, very good sound acoustics in here. But I mean, that was so enjoyable, just putting my foot into this, and just again, the menacing rumble you get from the exhaust. I should say the menacing scream you get from the exhaust is just fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm gonna put it into the comfort mode now. Now, in terms of an everyday vehicle, this pretty much gets the same, I shouldn't say the same, it gets similar fuel economy to like an Escalade, or it's not as good as maybe an Expedition, but around this price range, we're looking at something like this. So an Escalade, a G-Wagon, things of that nature. Just a luxury SUV that's fast. This is a pretty good option. Again, you have a bi-turbo V8, and then just having that additional power from the mild hybrid system. This thing is quick. It's very quick, especially for a 3-row SUV. But very easy to drive, and in comfort mode is even more relaxing than it was even in the Sport Plus mode. But again, it's just nice to know, like, driving around town just looks like a regular Mercedes, and then you put it in Sport Plus mode and you can pretty much blow away anything that you come across just so fast. Now, I believe this is a 110,000. It's a little cheaper. I just don't know the exact number. Again, the link will be in the description if you want to check it out. But for 110 grand, it's definitely, I think, a niche market for something like this. It is quick. It is somewhat practical in terms of the space, but you're getting 14 miles per gallon city, 18 highway. So not necessarily something that would be beneficial to you commuting back and forth to work every day, especially if it's a long distance journey. But if you can afford to pay 110 for this, you can probably afford to put the premium in it and get that probably 15, 16 miles per gallon combined fuel economy. But definitely can't beat the power you get, the sound you get, and the luxury you get with this. And if I could afford to maintain one, I wouldn't mind having it. So this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2021 Mercedes-Benz AMG GLS 63.